My name is Mike Brock. I'm the Executive Director of the Sorin Society, and I want to welcome all of you here. And it's also my pleasure to introduce Alan Pinkett. Alan is a 1986 graduate of the university, played for 4 years under Jerry Faust, as we were just mentioning. And when Alan was a two-time All-American, and when he left Notre Dame, he was the career leader in rushing, attempts, and 100-yard games. And after leaving Notre Dame, Alan played with the Houston Oilers for 6 years and the New Orleans Saints for 1 year. And he's currently the color commentator for ISP Sports broadcasts of Notre Dame games, which I believe when it's a home game, it's with Don Criqui, and an away game is Dick Enberg. Both. Don Criqui, all games. So, okay. But please join me in welcoming Alan.
Great.
Today, sometimes you just get your butt kicked. So what you do is you lick your wounds, you go back, study the film, you figure out how it went wrong, correct it, and then go make the next team pay for the loss. So I have to tell you that I was thoroughly impressed by the Stanford football team. They didn't look like the number 16 team in the country. They looked like a top 5 team. And it was a group that, there was no trickery or picking your pocket or gadget plays. They just lined up and physically beat us down. And it's just a real good Stanford team. But what you're seeing is a team that's been with the same coach, had the same system for 4 years, and now it's starting to click. In fact, last week was when Coach Harbaugh went over 500 for his tenure at Stanford. So
in the game, Notre Dame had the ball on the 10-yard line going in, and then they ran, I think, 3 straight plays out of the Wildcat. What do you think the idea was behind that? Because they were moving it pretty well up until the offsides with just normal Kelly in the shotgun, Chris in the shotgun. Why do you think you switched it to the Wildcat in the red zone?
When you get down in the red zone, especially on a 10-yard line, with a spread offense, that field is compressed. So those defenders don't have as much ground to cover as when they were defending the entire field. So it gets harder to throw the football when you get down near the goal line. And when you do get down there, you need to be able to run the football. And in theory, the Wildcat can work because you got 10 people blocking for you now instead of 9 people blocking for you. And then that 11th defender, hopefully you as the ball carrier can make that person miss. The one thing that'll blow it up though is if there's penetration on the offensive line. But I think that they ran it pretty well. It's just that the one extra guy was able to come and limit those carries. And they did use the Wildcat effectively at the end of the game to score their 2-point conversion. Of course, we had to move it up to the 1.5-yard line to do it, but still they were able to, so that might be the answer since we're not employing a traditional fullback, tailback, 2 tight end type of offense to run. That the Wildcat can hopefully be the answer. And yes, everybody knows he's going to run it, but who knows? Maybe we can get Armando Allen to throw a ball one time. Well, he did do it. The shovel pass is technically a throw, so he did throw it. Yes, sir.
Our backs are very highly touted recruits, and we have a lot of good players back there. I'm just surprised we can't run the ball more effectively.
Yeah, that's you have to go back to, I would say, give the credit to the Stanford defensive line today. I thought that we had a pretty good line. Stanford has an overpowering line. Stanford made their running backs look good. So give credit to the Stanford defensive line because they were getting penetration. They were shedding the blockers and getting to the ball carrier. They were holding up our offensive line so the linebackers could run free. I would give that. I think our running backs are still good, but you just faced a superior defensive line. Yes, sir.
On special teams, especially running back kickoffs, they look almost like a Chinese fire drill out there. What's up there?
I would hate to be in the meeting room when they had the special teams meeting because there was some bad decision making there. The rule is if you catch the ball in the end zone and you run it out, you better get it past the 20. And you know, there's a science to it. You know, you try to, you know, what is the trajectory of the ball when it's coming downfield? Because for every second it's up in the air, that guy's gaining 10 yards on you. All right. So if it's a low trajectory ball and you catch it 3 or 5 yards deep, I don't mind you running it out. But if it's up in the air a long time and you catch it deep, then you know the odds are going to be against you. Notre Dame didn't get as good a blocking as they wanted on those kickoff returns, but I think the decision making, when you run it out of the end zone, you know, you better get it past the 20. And late in the game, finally, Sierra Wood decided, okay, I'm in the end zone. I might as well take the knee so I don't end up on the 15 or the 12 again and get the 20. So that will be corrected. Coach Kelly did issue sort of an ultimatum this week in practice on special teams, talking about, you know, if you can't get it done, then I'm going to find somebody else done. You're not going to travel with the team. So didn't have a good performance today on special teams, and that was a problem because when you get the ball on the 15 instead of the 20, you almost have to play defensive on offense because you just got to buy yourself a little bit of room before you open up the offense. So it does limit you. So that's one area where they're going to have to get improvement. And they tried Jonas Gray back there, but the one they're kicking the ball to is number 20. And I thought he ran better today, but his decision making about whether to bring it out of the end zone was poor. Yes, sir.
Can you update your prediction now after 4 games? How many wins do you think Notre Dame will have?
I still feel good about 7 or 8 wins. You know, I think that they can. Of course, my resume so far stinks in terms of predictions. Not the best prognosticator. So Vegas is never going to hire me. So I think that they can beat Boston College. I think Virginia Tech put it on them today. And then this Pitt team, you know, Pitt's starting a freshman quarterback. So I think we've got, and they had their defensive lineman, their outstanding defensive end, go down, Greg Romeo. So I think we got a great shot at Pitt. Then what are we looking at? You know, Western Michigan, that should be a win. Army's going to be a win. We're going to beat Navy this year. I'm not even worried about Navy. You know, the tough ones left to me are Utah. I think Utah's going to be a struggle. USC is still going to be tough. Who am I missing? Oh, Tulsa. I think we can beat Tulsa. Tulsa, I think, may have the stars in their eyes when they come to Notre Dame Stadium. But I tell you what's happening the last 3 years. These teams smell blood now when they come to Notre Dame Stadium. They're not intimidated by the stadium at all. They're inspired when they come here. So Notre Dame has to do a better job of defending its home. But I still think a 7 or 8 wins are possible. I'm the eternal optimist.